was said in the face-off between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. They had this sort of like a Max Kellerman, like HBO kind of like two fighters sit down together, and the moderator is asking them questions. And in the questions, he goes on to say something that I'm like, for really. They say this fight is not going to be anything like Mayweather versus Pacquiao in that it happened too late and, it was anticlimactic. And I got to say this because I'm kind of I'm kind of annoyed by people who are salty that their guy didn't win. Okay, MAYPAC, as we all know, MAYPAC was only seen as a disappointment, as as a fight that happened too late because the guy that a lot of certain people wanted to win didn't win. If this dude had won, if the dude had won, they wouldn't be talking like that. All right, they wouldn't be talking about how it's so boring. They wouldn't be talking about how Maypac was, you know, happened too late and all that bullshit. Okay, it's because Pacquiao lost that all this narrative started to happen. Okay, and so people wanted to see Mayweather get beat. They didn't see him get beat. They thought this dude would be able to do it. Yeah, he got knocked out by Marquez, but he came back and he dropped Chris Algieri 6 times and he beat Timothy Bradley and he looks like he's back. Yeah, he looks like he's back. And Mayweather looked like he lost a step. So that's where this whole Maypac thing comes from. And Mayweather dominated his ass. Okay, dominated him. He dominated him. Okay. So a bunch of salty people now use Maypac. Oh, Maypac this, Maypac that, Maypac the other. That same boring ass fight, if Pacquiao got into the decision, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Okay? So stop with the bullshit. Just stop it. Furthermore, what you need in the building. That fight didn't happen 5 years too late. Let's stop with the bullshit. It didn't happen 5 years too late. It happened at the right time, as Roy Jones Jr. said. Okay? And why the right time? One, Pacquiao was a lot more careful as a fighter. He got his ass slept. Okay? He got slept by Marquez. Alright? He made more money than he ever made in his life off of that fight. They're able to really seriously launch MP Promotions. So let's just stop with the bullshit. Let's stop with the bullshit. Okay? He was never going to beat Floyd. Okay? So, you built up the guy. The guy was able to ride Floyd's name for the longest while as if Floyd was ducking him, which wasn't so. Okay? He was able to build up, and the fight was able to build up and generate a lot of revenue because people were anticipating the fight. And when they fought, they fought. And that's that. Don't tell me Pacquiao wasn't in his prime because Floyd wasn't in his prime either. So let's stop with the bullshit. So when people bring up Maypac as a reference to say it was a stinker or it was a bad fight, whatever they thought it was, no, that's bullshit. What y'all trying to do is make casual fans believe that shit. Because it's usually in-house that starts this bullshit. It's supposedly hardcore fans who supposedly supposed to know boxing who start circulating these rumors and the casuals take it and go with it. Right? But truth be told, Mayweather beat Pacquiao ass and Pacquiao was embarrassed. He was embarrassed. 11th round, Floyd was mocking him. He was embarrassed. Alright? And the Philippines was shell-shocked. They didn't say nothing. We didn't hear nothing on the internet for a whole fucking month. So stop with the bullshit. Then y'all started with all kinds of weird ass loser like excuses. Excuses. Y'all came with the illegal IV excuse as if there was an illegal IV. Y'all came with he bought the judges. Bullshit. Okay? I am tired of losers pushing their loser narratives. I'm tired of it. Alright? It was supposed to be the fight of the century. It was supposed to be The battle for greatness. Oh, but Pacquiao's greater than Floyd, but he lost the battle for greatness? How you gonna be greater than Floyd and you lost the battle for greatness? That's what determines who's the greater. Next time, don't make those stupid titles. Next time, don't call it the fight of the century. Just let it be. But y'all never learned your lesson. Y'all never learned your lesson. You thought, a lot of these folks thought that campaigned the Dirty Floyd's name before the fight. They brought up all the allegations about him beating women and all kinds of bullshit. Y'all came with so much bullshit, it's not funny. Came with bullshit. Now you gotta eat your words. Can't call him no coward no more because he faced Pacquiao and beat his ass. Are y'all mad now? Oh, it was the worst fight ever and blah, blah, blah. Too bad it happened. And he beat his ass. Easy. Easy. Shut up. Whitewash. Okay? You know what? I'm going to say this because I'm having fun. That was the greatest fight I've ever seen. You know why? Because, see, they knew that Floyd could not be beaten in the ring. So what these people started doing was trying to psychologically beat this dude. All right? They made him the villain. Okay? They make people say, if you praise this dude at all, they try to bully people. Okay? Their strategy is to bully people into not liking Floyd Mayweather. So if you like it, you're a Flomo or the man's the best boxer out there. Best boxer in the last 20-something years. Okay? Why is it a sin to like this dude? Why do you savagely attack people who want to like this fighter? Trying to bully people into hating him. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing good about him. Right? It's bullshit. Meanwhile, y'all jealous ass be doing everything he said. Doing everything he does. Bullshit, man. So, anyways, I saw this dude bring it up with Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. I said, I'm going to do a video on this thing. Because I can't have ignorant ass people saying these things about what was a great fight. Was it the most action-packed fight ever? Absolutely not. Was it the most exciting fight ever in the history of boxing? Absolutely not. Did it live up to the hype? Absolutely not. But very few fights do. Did I want to see Floyd knock Pacquiao's ass out? Absolutely. Didn't happen. Right? Not mad. He clowned him. He stunned it on him. You know what I mean? In the 11th round, he was just like, you ain't nothing, bro. You nothing. You know what I'm saying? I look at another thing. Now that I just want to go off of this. I just want to ride this for a second. Because a lot of people on YouTube say, one guy called me a Mayweather apologist. Another guy called me, he said, you love Mayweather. I don't care. I don't like injustice. Y'all see me do the same thing with Tyson Fury. Y'all gonna hear me say the same thing with Tyson Fury. Y'all gonna hear me say the same thing with Canelo Alvarez. Y'all heard me talk about Terrence Crawford. Y'all know who I am. And one of the things I really don't appreciate is dishonest people. Dishonest people who start with narratives that they're not telling the truth about boxing. They're not telling the truth. Right? When Sugar Ray Leonard was dominating the game, I'm going to say this for real. People were saying ain't nobody greater than Sugar Ray Leonard. That's what they were saying. The reason they were saying that is because they liked Sugar Ray Leonard. They liked him. Right? Now I look in boxing forums. I go different places. Floyd Mayweather's name comes up all the time. But there ain't nobody who will say, well, there are few people at least. Very few people will say, Ain't nobody nobody could beat Floyd Mayweather. Now the people in the business know, and they say, all right, there ain't nobody could beat. But there's a whole bunch of negative sentiment to this dude out there. They try to clown him at every turn. They hate on him because he never lost. And there's a thing in boxing where I remember somebody, there was a quote somewhere where they say, you gotta lose. You gotta know what it is to lose to really begin your boxing career. It's literally a philosophy like that out there. But here's the biggest joke you'll ever see. All these motherfuckers, all of them, really want their fighter to never lose. Because when that fighter loses, they make motherfucking excuses. Mike Tyson, he could have been undefeated. He was unbeatable. Really? But I thought in boxing you gotta lose to really begin your career. Oh, Sugar Ray Robinson, he was unbeatable. Yet he got his ass beat by Jake LaMotta and knocked the fuck out the ring. Follow me on this. Follow me on it, because I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I have a point to what I'm saying. The point I'm making is they're jealous of Floyd Mayweather. And they're angry that not only did he win all his fights, but he made the most money in boxing. They hate him. Yet, fighters borrowing his green print, Conor McGregor, Tyson Fury, Canelo Alvarez, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they're quicker to praise them than they are to praise him. Is there racism involved? Of course, there's some racism, because most of the people who are against Floyd Mayweather are not black people like myself. Most are some other ethnicity. Right? Because black people like myself know how difficult it is to make it in this world as a black person. Got a lot going against you. And there is racism as well. And some people are flagrantly racist because they're not, especially on the internet, because there's no way to hold them accountable. Can't punch them in the face when they say some shit. You know what I mean? Anyways, excuse the rawness in this video. The point is that MAYPAC was a hell of a fight, man. Hell of a fight. And Pacquiao's underrated. He's not the greatest defensive or offense, not the greatest defensive fighter in the world, but the dude does a lot of things which allows him to win fights. One of the things he's really good at mid-range countering. And then the second thing that I think is really great about him is he pushes the pace of the fight, making it uncomfortable for his opponent. And he starts to come in waves, and he attacks in waves if he gets you. Okay, very smart fighter. So, you know, if you go and you watch my little bit with the snake versus the cobra, you see what I'm talking about. I kind of put it in a sort of I use metaphors and stuff. But truth be told, you know, if you analyze it, it was a high level fight, and I'm beginning to realize how much people don't know shit about boxing, man. They don't know shit about boxing. You know, pound for pound boxing report. I said Dillian White did well. I left a comment there, and the host of it was Michael. He said, no, Dillian White didn't do well. I never got to explain myself, and it's okay. But a lot of them, when they saw Dillian White had to go against Tyson Fury, made up their minds, oh, this is going to be an easy fight for Tyson Fury. And so they overlooked everything that Dillian White was doing, especially his body work and closing the distance and pressuring Tyson Fury. They wouldn't see that stuff. Right? Canelo versus Caleb Plant. They expected Canelo to run over Caleb Plant. It wasn't that kind of fight. Okay? It wasn't that kind of fight. And I was wrong about Caleb Plant. I thought he had enough pop and power to do something to the Canelo, but he wasn't really doing much. He had a good jab. But my point being that Caleb Plant's defense and just the way how he was conducting himself in that fight made it difficult for Canelo to break through and actually hurt him or harm him in any kind of significant way. Okay. Um, Boxing's a beautiful sport, man. Boxing's a beautiful sport, and a lot of times we got people with big egos who ain't done shit in their lives, you know, and don't know what the fuck they just watched talking about boxing. It really annoys me because these narratives come up that are very untrue, and that's my problem with some people in boxing. They come with some really half-ass stupid narratives. Jose Luis Castillo versus Floyd Mayweather. How the fuck did Jose Luis Castillo in the first fight win that? How did he win it? How? How? When I ask people to articulate, they show me Harold Lederman's scorecard. Harold Lederman, God rest his soul, was a bit senile. Okay, Harold Lederman says, what do you use to score a fight is punches landed. That is bullshit. Okay? It's not just punches landed. It was just punches landed. Then you just have to count how many punches this guy land, how many punches this guy. It's not a punch count. It's not comfy box. It's about who controls the round. It's about who has landed the clean, effective punches of the round. You don't have to count every single punch of the round. You will know which is okay. You will see it when the guy hits the dude. You'll see the reaction, and you'll know. Or you'll say, "Oh!" That's how you know what is clean and effective. When we talk about in boxing, when we talk about he didn't touch him, we're not talking about that he literally didn't touch him. Of course, he touched him many, many times. Sometimes he hit him a jab, snap his head back, whatever. Okay? When we talk about touching, we're talking about where you landed your money punch, your trademark punch. You hurt the guy. You rocked him. That's what we mean by he didn't touch him. Okay? That's what we mean. It's a language. He barely got touched. Means he barely got hurt. The guy barely hit him with a money punch. His trademark punch. Like Oscar barely touched Floyd. He didn't touch him with the left hook. When we say touch him down there or touch him up here, we're talking about a shot that created an impact. When I jab you to the pit, I stab you to the pit, I take some air out of you, and I take some energy out of you, that's called touching a guy. It's a language. And so it's these things you got to understand when you're scoring a round, and I say, yeah, oh. When you say, oh, that oh is what happened in the round. And if you didn't have that oh moment, well, who was making that possible for that oh moment to not happen? Especially if it's a guy who usually produces the oh moments. You understand? Scoring a fight, judging a fight, this is what it's about. Jose Luis Castillo, when did you say oh? When in the first 6 rounds did Castillo give you an oh moment? Or was it Floyd who was giving you the oh moments in those first 6 rounds? Castillo didn't touch him in the first 6. In fact, he didn't even touch him in the first 7. We can go as far as that. And Floyd got penalized in the 8th. Or was it Castillo? I think Castillo got penalized in the 8th. Castillo did take the 9th. We had old moments in there. He did hurt him. He got him some good body shots. 1 or 2 headshots. Not so much headshots, because Castillo don't really land much headshots. He got him with a, I think it was like a pull counter, right hand. Right? In the 10th, I think, who was it? Castillo, Floyd? I think Floyd was penalized at point. Right? 11th, it was going toe to toe. Castillo finished the fight with an uppercut. The round with an uppercut, so he had the last stay. That might have an impact on the judges. They may give him the 11th. But Floyd did some good work in the 11th because he was blocking most of Castillo's body shots and countering Castillo and hitting him flush. In fact, he busted Castillo's nose in the 11th. But people don't know these things. See, I can break it down. I can tell you what exactly happened in the fight. Why? Because you got to have a boxing IQ. You need to know what's going on in the fight. If you don't even know what's going on in the fight, you're just going to echo Harold Lederman's scorecard. You're going to echo the CompuBox stats. CompuBox is not the gospel, y'all. It's a guide. It's not always right, but you can use it to reference certain things to show certain certain things. Like you say, oh, the guy says, oh, this guy had no chance or no shot, and you could just pull up the coffee box and show him, well, look, this is what really happened in terms of activity, in terms of punches landed. Right? It's not the gospel. Because we all know all punches aren't created equal. All right? So you can't just lump all punches, if they're not jabs, into power punches. No. I can hit you with a left hook. I can touch you with a left hook, a check hook, just touch you with it to keep you off balance. Or I could really put some leverage behind that. And like Sugar Ray Robinson or Floyd Mayweather, I could batter you into the ropes or batter you down on the ground and knock you out with a check hook. All punches are not created equal. Okay? So the old moments is what determines who really wins a round. And if you got no old moments, then you're looking at the busier guy. Or you're looking at the guy that lands more. Right? There are many different things to look at, but you're not trying to keep track of every single fucking punch. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're not keeping track of that. The organism. You're looking at how the fight unfolds. Who you deem to be in control. Who you find is landing the punches that are telling. That's what you're looking for. The telling punches. You're not looking for, pity pat punches. Or it's cool if the guy's jabbing and knocking the guy's head back and making the guy hesitant to come in. And then you have to count those jabs. You have to count that as effective. But because maybe the guy not landing his money punches. That's what you have to look for. Anyways, man, I just thought, MAYPAC it was a real cool, it was real dope. It was a big event. It was a good fight. It wasn't a great fight, but it was a good fight. And you know, I think MAYPAC happened at the right time. I think if it happened too early, if it happened in 2010, and Pacquiao had taken the test, I think Floyd would have probably stopped him because Floyd was still closer to his prime. Ricky Hatton in 2007, he was like 2 years off of his prime, maybe, and he still had that check hook, and he was pretty good at landing that check hook. And Pacquiao got caught with check hooks all night long in 2015. All night long, this guy getting check hooked. So I know Floyd would have knocked him out with a check hook. He would have run right into the check hook with his wild ass seven and get knocked the fuck out. Okay? Let's be real. Stop with the bullshit. Alright? Because we all know most knockouts happen because a fighter walks into a shot. That's how most knockouts happen. Right? And Pacquiao was so reckless, I could see him just leaping into a check hook and getting knocked out. Cold. Ricky Hatton style. Right? So I don't understand why 7 years later people are referencing Mayweather versus Pacquiao as if it happened too late. It happened at the right time. Pacquiao was smarter. He wasn't doing that stupid stutter step thing so you could time him and knock his ass out. He wasn't doing none of that no more. He got smarter. His punch count was dropped, but he got smarter. So, enough with this. If I hear somebody talk about MAYPAC as if, again, this is going to be MAYPAC or whatever, man, shut the hell up with that nonsense. That's what I would say. MAYPAC was good for what it was. Okay, expectations were higher, but I don't really care. MAYPAC was good for what it was. Alright? I'm going to catch you guys later on what you need. Peace.